When I was young, I literally did not realize that you have to go out and buy new food every single week. I mean, of course, you can bulk buy things, and sometimes I do bulk buy things, but most of the time I'm living on my own, so bulk buying things just ends up being a bigger waste of money. But genuinely, I had no idea how expensive it is to literally just go out and have to buy food every single week, which I realize is kind of the stupidest thing ever, but it just never struck me until I was going out and buying food every single week. I remember when I was younger, these packs of cookies were literally like under $3, and now they're selling them at 2 for $8 as if that's a good deal. I don't understand how they expect people to be able to live on a well-balanced diet while also having everything be so expensive. I don't remember the last time that I bought certain grocery items just because they're not in the budget anymore. The only way that I've found to combat this is literally just by obsessively checking over all of the sales items and making sure that I'm clipping all my coupons. There are some really good coupons out there, but you do have to search for them. Another really good pro tip that I can offer you is check out all of the clearance grocery items. Trust me, they're not bad. They're just stuff that might be going out of date soon or broken or something like that. I love French bread, and French bread used to cost $1 and nowadays it's like $3, except when it's on clearance. Then you can still get it for around $1. Same with all of the other baked goods. I have the world's biggest sweet tooth. Literally, I cannot go a meal without having something sweet on the side, so I'm always checking out the grocery store clearance aisle because they oftentimes have exactly what I want, and it's priced at a slightly reasonable price. Comment down below if you've ever gotten anything from the clearance aisle and what you got. The best deal that I've ever gotten was a packet of donuts that normally cost like $8 for 2, and I literally got it for like 80 cents. It was 90% off, and the only reason that it was that clearanced was because it was expiring that day, and I ate it that day, so it literally did not matter, and I got a really good treat that I'd been craving for so much cheaper than it would have been otherwise. You know how I know what the biggest recession indicator ever is? This store used to literally never do anything that was a huge sale like buy one get one free, and nowadays I see them running BOGO deals literally all the time. I was like, this is how you know that people are no longer spending a lot of money on things. I'm not complaining though. I take advantage of every single BOGO deal. It just helps me stock up things that I normally like but can't afford just getting one of. I don't advocate for bulk buying if you're a smaller family, just because most of the time you won't be able to get through everything before it goes bad, or you might get tired of things and then end up throwing it out. But I will recommend bulk buying things like spices and other pantry staples, just because you know that those things are things that you're going to be using regardless, and you might as well get a bunch of stuff, especially if they're shelf stable, so that they're going to last you a really long time. I have become the world's biggest advocate for baking your own cakes too, especially these Pillsbury cakes. They're so easy. I literally don't even have all of the ingredients half the time. Like, who can afford eggs anymore, or like that much oil? So I just put in whatever ingredients I do have. I make sure that the consistency is about where it's supposed to be, and then I bake it, and every single time it comes out an absolute 10 out of 10. And you can do this with literally any type of box mix. You don't need to stick with one or the other. Plus brownies works too. Another really good hack that I have is to literally get some of these Jello packets and mix it into your frosting or whatever, and then you'll literally have a flavored frosting in whatever flavor you want, and you can put it on top of your cake. It tastes absolutely amazing. If you thin it out some more, you can also inject it into your cake and make like a mishmash tres leches, which is so good. Of course, never buy the brand name unless it's on super sale. Always buy the store brand. They taste exactly the same, and it's gonna save you so much money in the long run. I also really like getting just other kinds of baking goods and using it for other purposes. Like vanilla syrup is really good as a coffee flavoring, and then you have a latte that's vanilla flavored without having to go out and get like a specific thing from a store or whatever. It saves you so much money. I highly recommend it. Now, I'm not the biggest snacker out there, but I do like to get snack items that you normally wouldn't eat as part of a meal and just making it part of my meal. That's the best thing that I've ever learned. Like, foods don't have to necessarily be grouped into what you think that they should be grouped into. For example, everybody always tells you don't eat nuts as part of your meal because they're super high calorie or whatever, but I like to put in just like a serving of nuts alongside whatever else I'm eating so that I can get into all those healthy fats and stretch it for a little bit more. Arguably, the knowledge that breakfast foods don't have to just be breakfast foods, same with every other meal, has been the best thing for making my wallet happy whenever I'm going grocery shopping. I no longer just buy the super expensive, super sugary cereals or anything. I literally get whatever I want, and I just make it into my meals however they fit. I love these pretzels. The only thing is that every time I open the container, I find it so hard to stop because they're so addictively good. The best way I've been able to combat that is to get a bunch of little Tupperware containers. I actually just reuse other containers for this. It totally works the same, and putting in a pre-portioned serving into each one. That way, whenever I want some pretzels, I grab one of the pre-portioned packages, and I save myself so much money as opposed to buying the pre-portioned packages already. I'm really thankful that I was not raised in a household that typically drinks soft drinks, so I've never had that as one of my like go-tos for snacking or anything, so I save so much money in the long run because I've literally just never had a craving for a Coke or anything, and I probably never will because I was just not raised on it. To be honest, Cokes tend to hurt my mouth whenever I drink them, so I just avoid all of that in general. The one thing that I wish that I wasn't raised on was sugary treats, because I love sugary treats so much. I saw that they had these brand new apple pie Milano cookies. I love Milano cookies. They're such a good cookie, but they're too expensive. I literally remember a few years ago they were like $2.99 for one, and now they're like $5 on sale, plus with a coupon you can get it for $4, which is frankly not worth it. Plus, apple pie in a cookie form did not sound that good to me. I like apple pie and I like cookies, maybe not together though. Pasta is another thing that I highly recommend you get as much as you can whenever it goes on sale, because pasta used to be $1 for a pound. Nowadays it's so much more expensive. Whenever they have pastas on sale, I literally buy so many, and I just put them in my pantry for whenever I want to have some pasta. I don't normally advocate for getting these little cake slices, but if you want to only have a little sweet treat, then I do think that they are a really good option for you. Now, $5 isn't the best, of course, but they are a pretty good option if you just want something small and don't want to get a whole cake. Now, I know know that the bakery aisle is put up front literally just to get you to buy more stuff, but I still cannot avoid just looking through it and seeing all of the sweet treats. The way that I avoid this is I get a small cart and then I go and do literally everything else in my shopping that I need to do, and then I go into the bakery aisle, and then I will feel bad looking at all the food that I already have that I already need and then not get anything. It's the only thing that's been working for me so far. Luckily, as I've gotten older, I've realized that I only really like a certain subsect of sweets, so I'm not just getting everything. These seaweed packs are literally so good too. I enjoy getting them and putting them on rice, but I will never ever get them from one of these stores. I only ever go to my H Mart or another grocery store that's Asian style in order to get them, because they are so much cheaper at one of those stores. Like, they were selling those packets for $1 and I could get so much more for like $5 at an Asian store. Asian stores really are the secret hack to being able to stretch your dollar the most, because a lot of the fruits and vegetables that you want are going to be so much more cheap at one of those stores as opposed to a big traditional store. I always make sure to go to one of those stores to get all of my produce items. Has anybody else just kind of become a pseudo-vegetarian because meat is so expensive these days? I feel like I don't remember the last time I bought a meat product and actually cooked it myself. I will buy frozen meat products though, just because they stay good for longer and I'm able to cook them better. Of course, I do not know how to cook meats most of the time. I've only just realized that more seasoning is better. I don't know why I never realized that before, but these days my meat products actually do taste pretty good, but they're still too expensive for me to be able to justify buying them on a regular basis. So I just don't, and I get my protein through other sources. Grocery store cakes are always so beautifully decorated that I just go by and I take a look at the aisle really quickly and then I keep it moving. Now, if we ever hit 300 subscribers, which is a pretty long path given how slow my growth has been, I will buy a cake and I'll share it with you guys just as a thank you. So make sure to subscribe if you want to see that. I am so fortunate to live in an area where seafood is actually somewhat reasonably priced. Now, of course, $16 for 2 pounds isn't the best pricing out there, but it is actually decently priced, and I love shrimp. It's literally the one type of seafood that I get all the time. It's so easy to cook too, and shrimp is one of those things that tastes good no matter what you do with it. So I always just pack it in with all the seasonings and then I do a light stir fry, and it tastes so good. It's so cheap, it's easy protein, I love it. Despite knowing that I will not be able to afford any of the meats in the actual meat section, I always go by and take a look at it just because I'm hoping that they have a pricing error or something that you always see online but are never fortunate enough to happen to you. Now, this is another aisle where I think that everybody should be taking advantage of the clearance section. Unfortunately, I think that people already are taking advantage of the clearance section because every time I go, I never see anything on there. Even if I'm not benefiting, I am still really happy that people are able to get all the deals, because frankly, meats have become so expensive. It's actually ludicrous, and I don't know what's going on. Like, genuinely, I see all of these different sales and stuff, and the sales prices are just reflecting prices as they used to be. You can literally see all of the reduced price meats are the ones that are sold out. Comment down below what your favorite grocery store hacks are. Make sure to subscribe and follow for more content like this. I love you guys so much, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!